Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. We've got our guest, Alamboye, who is a public affairs analyst. Great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much. It's quite a long time.
Yes. It has been. Okay, so now let's move straight to the dailies, even though we have less than 30 minutes, but we see how we can manage our time. Our phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. Remember, it is 1 minute to every caller, and turn down the volume of your TV set before you call. Daily Sun screams Atiku tenders CSU certificate as Supreme Court says sack Tinubu. And same story you have in almost all of the dailies. In Nigerian Tribune says reject technicality, overrule Tinubu on fresh evidence. Atiku tells Supreme Court. And I saw another one again, I can't remember the dailies, that says Atiku just screamed sack Tinubu immediately because I have something new to tell the Supreme Court. Let's get your thought in.
Well, the truth is that the Supreme Court or the courts or the laws of the land are not emotional. That is true. Let's take the precedence from the Nigerian judgment pattern. When we've come to where technicalities in judging matter is becoming a norm. That is, whether I like it or not, the matter must go technical. And in developed countries, the technicality of an issue is normally, I'm not a lawyer, but from my experience, is used to protect certain interests. The law, the Supreme Court is a human being. What I mean by a human being is people are seated there, they see the matter and the implication of their judgment to unity, to correct a situation is what they also check. If we give this judgment, what is the implication? As true as it is, what is the implication? So you see, they move away from the actual laws to technicalities of the matters and say A, B, C, D, putting this and this together. Technically, this was supposed to be. But technicality, the language technicality in the Nigerian judiciary has become a weapon to witch hunt true judgments. Really? That is the truth. Now, if you look at it vis-a-vis every issue that in the face of the public that seem blaring, sometimes we don't really understand the prayers of those petitions in court. We become so emotional that we forget that what is the prayer of this person. The fact is that, okay, A killed B, and it is evidently proved that A killed B. But that's not what you're suing for. So the court will sit down and look what is before them and adjudicate. Let's also keep that aside. The matter at hand is quite sensitive. It's quite sensitive in that the Supreme Court also has the duty as an oversight or a main court duty to also check the unity and coexistence of the entity called Nigeria. So I believe strongly that whatever evidences that is playing around, whether true or false, the court will not be emotional, but will definitely be technical. Technicality, you cannot take it away from judgments. And again, they will strictly look at what will be the resultant effect of their judgment in this issue. Recalling that is going to set a precedence. This is not the first time they're going to that level, and we've all seen what the outcome used to be. But today, people have deliberately gone into extra mile to bring out evidences, glaring evidences to buttress their point. And now you can see that the whole process of the malfunctionality of the election 2023 is pushed aside. Is now a personal vendetta. So they are going to be thorough. The Supreme Court is put on test. It is not even Atiku, neither Peter Obi, nor the president. It is the Supreme Court that will be put on test. All eyes are going to be on them. But again, we are in Nigeria. Judgment will come out. We are the most enduring people in the world. Anyhow it comes out, it will come out.
We will survive.
Yes. One prayer I'm making is that in their wisdom, whether constitutionally or technically, they should place this country where it is going to be seen as that giant we used to be.
Okay.
They should place this country where we can move out of this economic mess. Everything, the government is not functioning now, and that is basically my opinion, because they are also waiting for the Supreme Court judgment.
Okay, so I have to butt in.
Yes.
1 minute, please, because Daily Sun, I'll take it again, says Daily Sun tenders CSU certificate, ask Supreme Court to sack Tinubu. And then I hear you say it has moved away from it is now vendetta. Are you accusing the presidential candidate of PDP of political vendetta?
No. Now, I was coming to there. I said, what are his prayers? The Supreme Court is not going to hear an issue. They are going to work on the judgment. They are going to cede to the judgments from the appellate court. That's what they are going to do. Now, if his prayers is that, one of his prayers is that due to fake papers or whatever certificate presented to INEC, it becomes lawful that the president do not even have ab initio the right to run for the election. If that is his prayers, he will pursue it. If there is a if the courts in their own wisdom decide to see any technicalities to block off that, what I'm saying here is that we cannot be emotional about it. But as it has been in our country, I said technicalities has been a tool for withholding or taking away judgments from people that deserve it. That is where the problem lies. If the technicalities are not out of judgment, they are part of judgment process. But in our country, judges have decided to use it to disadvantage people that are supposed to win election. In so many cases, we've seen people that have proved serious death cases in election that is highly prohibited. But the court will always come in their wisdom with the technical aspect of the issue.
Speaking about
glaring in your eyes. So what I'm saying that the PDP, in as much as to every little Nigerian that have the current affairs in its fingertips, knows that, or is beginning to aware that there are abnormalities in the certification and the history of the president. Be it as it may, it is in conjunction, it is connected to 2023 election.
Okay, sorry to cut you short.
So I'm not saying that the court shouldn't give judgment. Whatever the judgment will come out, the issues are placed before them. We are only emotional about what we're seeing in circulation. The lawyers for both parties are into the matters. The Supreme Court, they are also into the matter. They are seeing the real intricate, the real issues of the matters outside what we are thinking.
Okay, there's been words in the streets that the judiciary has been interpreting the constitution into what befits them, because we have a case of I think where a court has come out to say whatever they tendered before them is pre-election matters, and they threw most of these cases out. And then we've had in another state where they've said, oh, it's pre-election matters, but then they of course sustained most of these verdicts and said, oh, this person should be thrown out because he didn't fulfill everything INEC wanted to be. So could it be said that the judiciary is biased at one point, or they just they translate the constitution into what suits them? Because how do you the same case, how do you judge it in different ways in
the same thing? But it goes back to what I'm saying. The prayers, the case before them. If your matter was that somebody died, somebody was murdered, and you're suing that the person wore blue, you're not suing that the person actually killed the person. Sir, this person wore blue, and it goes to court. You could not defend that the person wore blue. He has won the matter. The matter in court is not who killed.
But shouldn't there be a synergy of interpretation?
So you have to sue. You have to sue completely. You have to know when to sue, how to sue. Now, so most of the cases, with due respect to politicians and the law, the judiciary, some politicians hold on to issues that at the issue they are supposed to sue on findings and wait to see if they win the election. In the process when they didn't win, they think that the law will be so emotional, or the law will bend its arms to determine pre-election matters to post-election matters. It doesn't work that way. The other lawyers are also checking to telling the court that look, this matter before us, however true it is, it has elapsed. Time bound and gone. So that is where that truth you are pursuing, they begin to pursue the technicalities of it that look, yes, this is true, but you've called at the late hours. So we are always emotional to say that it was glaring. This is wrong. This was wrong. Yes, as long as it is, time has overlapped, and the court may necessarily do not have anything to do about it. There are also other cases. I also agree with you.
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Elder Zion. Good morning, Elder Zion. Great to hear from you. Go ahead, please.
From Jos.
Go ahead, you can hear you, sir. Zion.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bless you too, sir.
Thank you very much. As regards the conversation there, I will have to bring in what somebody said, the former secretary of federal government. He said that will be one relation. I think that statement day before yesterday. Without providing concrete evidence. You see, in law, that's why I don't believe him. I don't believe him that will be one relation. Or they might have gotten the highest vote. But there are other areas, the threshold, the spread. It didn't get up to 25% in 24 states. They got it in 18. So that being the case, and again, what made Obi to go back is structure. They don't have structure in all parts of Nigeria. About 40-something thousand police stations. Obi don't have polling agents.
All right.
And that is area that the election starts to be won or to be lost.
All right.
These are the people who will carry your votes up to the ward, from ward to local government, from local government to state. So if you don't have it, something can happen to the votes.
All right, Elder Zion.
Finally, I want to tell us, you see, like what the analyst is saying. There must be evidence beyond all reasonable doubt in the court. Court is not just like a local meeting. You have to provide evidence to support your case. If those evidences are wanted, nobody will declare you winner.
Thank you so much, Elder Zion.
I want to again, as I used to call on Atiku and Orji, to please withdraw. Let them go and do homework for 2027, because in the Supreme Court, they are going nowhere.
Thank you so much, Elder Zion. Thank you so much. We might have to let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me leave a word to what is saying. I wanted to even cite the Obi's matter.
Okay.
Obi's insinuation or Obi's prayers in court is that he won the election. Obi didn't say the election was marred with irregularities. He went forward to say he won the election. Now you have to provide, like the man said, the court is not emotional. The court is not part of your suit. You have to bring before them instances of every state. You have to convince the court, every ward, to convince the court that in almost 2/3 of the wards in the country, there were electoral malpractices. It's not easy. Okay. To an instance that it does not even have representation. So it's not being out there on social media to shout election was bad. Oh no, we've seen elections, we've been in electoral processes, and when it gets to court, it's a different ball game.
All right, let's leave election matters and quickly go straight to other stories. This day newspaper, in fact, almost all the news headline this morning screens Naira weekends as to 1,100 in parallel market as dollar demand or dollar demand rises. Now I'm going to ask you, put in so many questions, and I would like you to bundle them in one breath. First one on the side. Secondly, you go to the Guardian newspaper says electricity woes persist as Nigerians pay 668.18 billion naira for darkness. That's on the Guardian newspaper. So now that's electricity matters. And from there we move straight to another headline this morning. I think it's on Blueprint newspaper that says BDCs seek urgent reform as Naira depreciates to 1,100. And we'll move straight to another headline. Like I said, all of them, we take them together. Leadership newspaper says 10 years after Gencos, Discos fret over license renewal amid uncertainty. And I'm wondering, 10 years after privatization, we're still talking about on due diligence done. We're still talking about what they did.
Why are you surprised? Why are you surprised? Why did you just start this discussion with saying you're surprised? The country went back 8 years. The country went back 8 years. What happened
in 8 years? Yeah.
The administration didn't go front. It went back 8 years. If you remove 8 years from the 10 years they anticipated, is it not the same? These laws that Jonathan was pursuing, where they are till today, they were just jamborees. Nothing worked. We were advocates that were crying that this government is taking us aback. People were not listening. Everything they did. There's a paper that's also capturing railways now. Are you not aware in this country that it is railway that took most of Nigeria's foreign loans? Today, they are still crying for more loans or more funding for railways. You can imagine.
Abuja.
So, but these people are all alive. They cannot be brought to book. We were all here when they privatized 10 years ago. Immediately, I think, just at the exit of Jonathan's regime. So, it took us 8 years to now. We are talking about the schools and whatever. It's surprising. I don't have much to say about it, but the government, the government must start working.
So you're paying over 600 billion naira for darkness.
For darkness. That is the truth. For darkness is unimaginable, but that is where we are. Some people are deliberate. Some people in government are deliberate that it must be about them. It's not about the progress of the country. And let me tell you something. It saddens me. They come back from abroad and they say, oh, if you go there, 24 hours light, they take the best places to stay. They are staying in the best places, not because there are no such houses in Nigeria.
So are you referring
because the elites, the government circle, they travel most. Where the other place I've gone is Ghana. What will take me out?
An elite.
So they have to look like an elite. You understand? So what I'm saying here is that when they go out to develop countries or developing countries, funny enough, they don't even go to the rural side of those countries. They go to where it is developed, meaning that they are aware. Why they go there is because of the provision of social amenities, the provision of livelihoods. Okay, so they enjoy that in a little while.
I remember reading the headline yesterday that says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where there was a leak of the amount he paid when he went to the UNGA for hotel. Is he referred to an elite in that regard? Is it in the context?
Is the number one elite I'm talking about? He's the number one. He has gone to those places. They all fly out. They see how beautiful these things are. Funny enough, when they come, it's about them. Hoping 130 million naira will be used to buy one car for a senator, one car. If you multiply the number of senators to that amount, that money would have gone into something beneficiary, something that will change the life of Nigerians. Divide that into 25 or 35,000. How many people it can repay? Instead of doing 3 months, they can do 6 months, they can do 1 year on that, what they call it, that palliative they are trying to do. So, because these senators, they already well to do. They drive good cars. Their remunerations monthly is fit enough to maintain them. If indeed their concern is about Nigeria, our country must go on, they should reject that offer to say, no, push this money into those palliative. Let the citizens get more comfort. While we cushion the effect of the what they call subsidy removal and all that. Look at the games here and there going on. I perceive that President Tinubu is too smart and wise to development, but I think so many things are hanging on. The politician, I said, is not military. Where it is military, the head of state can come and say anything in his own whims and caprices, and so he stands. But here you have to deliberate, you have to show concerns in different quarters involving the legislator, involving this, talking to this. So your ideology on a particular issue may change in 2 or 3 consultations. So he has to be seen. The country he inherited, number one, is not brilliant. The country he inherited, or anybody that is going to inherit, pending the Supreme Court judgment, is no diving. A lot of sacrifice from leadership needs to be done. Generally speaking, look at how the Naira is devaluing every day. Who do you blame? Anywhere you go, even today in ministries, you go to discuss business, the next minute you are saying, this is the $10,000, this is $5,000. We have our currency. We are not domesticating our own currency. We are not discussing, go and say you want to buy a car. The woman will tell you it's $1. Because they are not aware that it's easy to take dollar and make more money. So even if it's relative value. There was a time I had some dollars with me. I did some job and I was paid in dollars. I brought it home, and my friend was saying that it's an investment. We should keep this dollar for 3 to 4 months. But I was tested to reply back, so I had to take it to the bank.
So you're regretting it?
It is true. I'm regretting somehow.
I like the one that you were outrightly honest about that.
Yeah.
And I was speaking about being outrightly honest and corruption in Nigeria. Something caught my attention on the Punch newspaper. I even had to open the papers to actually read more about it. Anti-graft war should start from National Assembly. That's coming from the EFCC chair. I'd like to get your own opinion about that.
It was striking. I think I'm very glad you brought this issue up, and we saw how the Senate President preempted the young man and said he shouldn't use his word as an example. Yes, I'm one of the persons that want to advocate that the President should look inwards. I don't know if they're going to stay after the Supreme Court judgment, but they should look inwards. Our monies are in the hands. 2 point something trillion naira or so is unaccounted for in President Buhari's administration. So the monies are not out of the country. There are ministers that took this money for execution. There are contracts that are left undone. The presidency should look inwards. Negotiate with the APC people that just left government. The ministers, the contractors, everybody should begin to have meeting with the minister and with the president to see how they can return these funds.
But is that not the same thing President Buhari promised to do when he came on board and said he was going to fight corruption, he was going to hold plenty of people accountable? It's easy, but it's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done. When you want to fight corruption, I purposely use the word negotiation, because like it will go to the court again. There are projects attached to these funds. We're all aware. But when you call even a thief in your house and say, boy, I know you took this money, but let's have 10,000 out of the 12,000 you stole. You are talking to the conscience of the person. At the time there's no food at home, you're holding 12,000 naira at hand, and we need to eat.
The same negotiation works.
It will work. Everybody at all strata is feeling what Nigeria is going through, because the more the rich are also crying now, because the dependency ratio is increasing for them. Everybody is running to them. Just this morning, if I tell you how many calls at my own small level I have received.
Actually, I'm not the elite you're talking about.
No. You understand? So to talk about them, I remember a mentor used to say that if they don't help the poor will begin to back at the elites, and this is what is exactly happening. So
I see where you have the UK court, and they stated that what's her name, that she was given I'm trying to remember her name, Desiani, where she was asked to pay 700 million pounds, where she took allegedly misappropriated 100 million pounds, and then some people come out to say that okay, that is even better because it's almost like she's paying same amount. But if you come to Nigeria, it's a different kettle of fish entirely. You have 100 million, and then people will say okay, just pay
the EFCC boss. I see the enthusiasm in him while he was made this thing yesterday or so. But I think that the system, when he sits on the seat, he will know that he will have to know that it's a system thing. And his nomination there is to fight.
But he has been in the organization.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And we've read how much he even decided to sue people because they
came to him with bribe
him.
Yes, it's a different ball game when you are the aim of affairs. It's different. I love his boldness. I'm not going to write to him officially. I love his boldness. It was not a mistake when he used Atabio's as an example, because Nigerians are aware. Just yesterday, they pulled off a case concerning is it Anduba, one of the Ubas. For just joining the APC. So this is the country we are. So people are beginning to lose confidence in the judiciary. The EFCC man will do better, but these are cases that he cannot, that are going to be above his control. It must surely go to court. What will the judiciary system do about it?
Thank you so much, Alamboye, public affairs analyst. It's always a pleasure having these discussions with you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.